Previously on the Coastal Queen restoration.
Little video of the Queen coming out of the water. First week of October here at McMillan Yachts, and we have the Coastal Queen that got brought in our building here about a week and a half ago. She's a Chesapeake boat, 72 feet long and 21-foot beam.
The unique thing about the Coastal Queen is she's a classic Chesapeake Bay dead rise construction, which consists of a fore and aft planking system on frames above the chine. But in the bottom of the boat, from the chine to the keel, is a cross planking system.
The way that this boat was planked, it made it easy to replace a plank, but what it also did is it exposed the end grain to the outside world.
The purpose of this restoration is to return the boat to full service and full commission.
This boat has a lot of character. It's essential that we don't change the character of the boat. We have to think about the idea that if it works, don't mess with it. But also, what's the future of the boat look like? And we've got to sort of balance those things and not screw up the character of the boat in the process.
When we received the boat, we also received a book of photographs that illustrated prior work that had been done to the boat over the years. She had the same captain for 20, maybe 30 years, and he kept track of all of these various projects. When they replanked the top sides of the boat, when they replanked the stern log, when they replaced the stem, all of those projects had some nice photography to illustrate to us what was done. When they rebuilt the stern log and they replanked the top sides, there was a lot of evidence in the photographs where they used a lot of sapwood. And so the problems we had were localized. It was only going to be that little edge of sapwood, and then it would stop and the material would be good. So we spent the summer chasing Dutchmen and chasing sapwood rot. When a tree grows, there's heartwood and sapwood around the outside of the heartwood and bark around the outside of the sapwood. As the tree grows, the nutrients from the root system go up the sapwood. That's where the grain is open, and it has a clear channel all the way to the crown. And so the growth happens from the inside of the tree out as the sapwood matures and becomes heartwood. Then the tree gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's the way it grows. This exchange of moisture up and down the sapwood illustrates the fact that the sapwood is not fully developed material. And so we don't use it in boats. If we knock down a tree and want to use a piece of that tree for a timber, we have to get our timber between the sapwood and the pith of the tree in order to have a clean heartwood timber that's going to be as stable, as resilient to decay as is possible to get out of that tree. The yellow pine that was available to the builders of the Coastal Queen in 1928 was a type of longleaf yellow pine. The old growth longleaf yellow pine, primarily this is the one species of the yellow pine that boat builders want to use because it's so rich in resin and it will not decay, it will not rot. The yellow pine that was in existence and available in the late 20s is largely not available today, and the reason is it's protected. It's also been logged heavily because it was used for everything. In the early 1800s, when the first settlers arrived here, there was a savanna of longleaf yellow pine that extended from Virginia around the coastline all the way to Georgia and Texas. And all of that was longleaf yellow pine. There are photographs of those earliest settlers walking through that savanna, having to turn their shoulder between the trunks of the trees. The forest was so thick, and those trunks were 34, 36, 48 inches in diameter at head high.
Over the life of the boat, the planking might go through a couple bouts of being refastened. Generally, a good piece of lumber is going to last longer than the fastener does. So this boat was refastened. At some point, certain sections of it anyway were refastened, and the old iron nails were removed, and stainless nails were put in. There's a metallurgy issue with having stainless below the waterline, certainly in conjunction with a lot of existing iron and the salt water. It doesn't exactly create a battery, but it does hasten the deterioration of the wood that they're in.
So the bow, or the bilge, and especially here at the bow, is filled with a substance called pitch. It's what they call a plasma, where it's not really a solid, but not really a liquid. It will harden and crack like a solid, but if something sits in it, it'll slowly start to settle in. We use that to kind of create a flat surface to fill to the limber holes so that water can move throughout the bilge. Right. That way it can get to the bilge pumps and get pumped out.
One of the challenges that we have here at Macmillan Yachts with a boat like the Coastal Queen is the difference in her construction. In most of the Trumpies and consolidated yachts that we've been restoring to date, even if they have a chine structure, it's a 4.5 planking system. And with the cross planking system that the Chesapeake Bay Dead Rise has in this bi-boat, it presents unique challenges that we're, in some cases, just now solving for the first time.